Here we go.
What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling? Beanie still on? Just a little dive through the window, just tuck and roll. The car's still rolling down the street. It's short. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. What is good? We got Bears to talk today. The Chicago Bears have cut two Bears. I don't know if legends is the right word. It was a really good players.
They were good players at one point in time.
Hall of really good players.
In their prime.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely cut two of the most tenured players on the team in Cody Whitehair and Eddie Jackson. Have to talk about what that's going to mean for this team. What are they going to do money-wise? Also, got to look at an interesting report that our own Jordan JC found. He's digging deep into the scouting reporting, trying to find anybody out here. Anybody don't think Caleb Williams good? Let's find it. So we got a new scouting report on Caleb Williams that we're going to break down today, and we'll talk about that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We got the pettiest man alive in the building, Mr. P Kid, looking like he's about to battle rap Eminem in a parking lot somewhere. We got the super producer Joel Holt, as always, and Jordan JC.
I can't stand Pat, dog. I can't stand Pat, dog. I can't stand him.
Listen, man, let's start it off here. Let's start off with Eddie Jackson and Cody Whitehair pretty much individually. Both of them end up getting cut. Financially, this makes the most sense for the Bears.
Yes.
No disrespect to either of the players. I think that both of them had really good careers with the Chicago Bears. Both of them showed you a lot in their time here. And Bojack, to me, when you paid him initially, was worth every penny that he ended up being paid. Just wasn't able to bounce back from that Liz Frank injury. Bears do save about $21.6 million by cutting this pair of players. Was it time for this to happen when you look back at last season? I think Whitehair is the easy one to go to, but when you look at Bojack, right, 12 games this season, I don't think that he played as well as most people would hope, but when he did come back from the injury, the foot injury that kept re-aggravating the second time, he looked better out there. Was it time just for them to move on from him, more so for the financial decision than anything?
Yeah, I think that's all it is. Realistically, the $21 million. If you looked at it before then, we were actually having these conversations about going after Danielle Hunter and things of that nature. And Danielle Hunter is going to garner what, $21 million in itself, right?
In his first year, probably, yeah.
You know, so we were looking at them trying to make moves for these big name players. How was Poe's going to be able to actually, maximize going after them with the cap space we had, which I think was like roughly $47 million at the time. Yeah. You use most of that up in one player. That's not going to be worthwhile. The general consensus is this mystical haul that that's not happening. It seems like everyone, especially if you listen to Jordan Reed that today on the Chicago Bears podcast, looks like that's not really happening right now. Shout out, good show right there, man. Good show right there, right?
He said good show. Good show to all the elders out there. Good show.
Jesus.
You didn't get that SH out quick.
Okay, my bad.
Y'all stuck on that one a little bit. He's like, good.
Flag up.
You got a flag just in case. Put those flags.
But you put all those things together. I mean, realistically, that's what it boils down to. We needed to find a way to make more cap space, to make more room to go after these other players, strip some things on the defensive end, because we're going to end up probably drafting young.
Yeah, I'm of the same thought, because I think it was time. I mean, you look at the career of Eddie Jackson, really, really good prime. But, I mean, the last couple of years, even outside of his injury, coming back, he improved. But you can go get better. That's just my opinion. Yeah. This is a guy who was a great mentor to Jaquan Brisker and the younger guys on the team, on the defense specifically. But I just think that, you can go out. We've mentioned names before about who could be, fill that safety position, whether in the draft or free agency. Now this shores up money. There's just too much money for him to stick around that you can put towards younger or more capable players on the field right now. So
yeah. First of all, shout out to Breeze Nation. Over
100 in the chat already. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Hit that like button if you're jumping in here. Over 100 already.
Shout out to everybody that's in there. Seen Baki. We got SWAT, Blank Day, Raymond Bennett, Ken Burke, Jay Grizz. What's happening? Yes, Nova 312, Chi-Town Javier, Pleasant. Just name a few. If I miss you guys, Brandon Green, Japan was happening.
Brandon Green in
Japan,
Japan.
man.
Shout
We
out
love
to Brandon Green. He
Japan,
said, I
man.
believe he said his
Green.
morning there, right? Is that
Yeah.
what he said?
Yeah.
He said good
Good
morning
morning.
from Japan.
Is he
Shout
in
out
the
Brandon
future
Green.
or is he behind? He's ahead of
He's
us.
ahead of us.
ahead
He's in the
He's ahead of
future.
us, yeah.
Oh, so he knows what's going to happen.
But
Y'all late on this Eddie Jackson news.
you should have told us already, Brandon. This is just part of football. I mean, they're both about 30, 31 years old. They're
Yeah.
not necessarily worth the second or a third contract, and their skills have declined to a point where they're going to end up being role players. I mean, Eddie probably in the right team, insulated around the right, players will probably still have some form of production, but it's not going to work here. I mean, he was making like 17 million or something like that. If I'm correct, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's time. And that was from the old regime, and
Absolutely.
unfortunately, because his play has, it did not kind of decline to a point where it's like we can't re-sign him.
Yeah, Bojack, and it was interesting because to me with Bojack, when he was on the field, you didn't feel like he's the worst player out there. But I do agree with you, right? That you kind of looked at it and said, listen, we need a little bit more. We need a little bit more from you. We need to see more production out of you. The one thing that I didn't like was people like, I think a lot of people's issue with Eddie Jackson was him in coverage last year. And I dare people to tell me when Eddie Jackson was good in coverage, right? That's not the Eddie Jackson we paid. He was the ball hawking safety. He was the guy that was going to get the interceptions. He was the guy that was always a threat to return the pick six. I'm not judging him on his coverage skills last year because I don't know how to tell y'all this. His year 2 coverage skills weren't good either. His year 3 coverage skills weren't good either.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things to me where I look at Bojack is, like you said, a solid veteran around the league still. I think when healthy on the field, you can get good production out of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and he's still an impactful player as far as being a ball hawk on a team. But there's just the money capital tied to him, the aspect there, that was a no-brainer. Cody Whitehair, another one who was released today as well. He actually dropped a message over on Instagram, said, I would like to sincerely say thanks to the Chicago Bears for giving me the opportunity to play for such a historic franchise. Thank you to all my teammates for all the great memories and friendships that I made throughout my time in Chicago. To all the coaches I had, thanks for teaching me the skills it takes to play the game at the highest level. To the fans of Chicago, it has been a great ride. Thank you for all your support, Cody Whitehair. And here's the thing, right? People are going to look at last year's effort from Cody Whitehair and say the benching that wasn't a benching, right? Like just tell us you benched him. The benching, the inability to snap the football well, the inability to snap and block at the same time. His body's been beaten up. Cody Whitehair has been nothing but tough here in Chicago. I believe he's got 118 starts through his career. Yeah. He was a smart offensive lineman. He was a versatile offensive lineman for us. He was something that is
regression.
Yeah, he was something that is very hard to find. I'm not going to lie to you. If we got another Cody Whitehair in here that maybe is a little bit younger, like the younger version of Cody Whitehair, we've got a solid piece on this offensive line for years to come. So congratulations to Cody for his time here. And I think that as tough as it is, he's probably only a backup at this point in the league.
Yeah. So we got Super Chat from Samurai J. Shout out to Samurai J. When y'all make the Ryan Poles joke with the cards, I imagine Pace just looking at all his blank checks.
I love how Pat read this like really nice and sombering message from Cody Whitehair, gave him his kudos, and then was like, "Oh, he's just a backup." No, I was like, Jesus, Pat. Wow.
That is the reality.
What would you say he is right now? I mean, that's welcome to the NFL.
I mean,
right?
We could have just thanked him for his services and kept it pushing.
Hey, listen, life comes at you fast, dog. And for Cody Whitehair, right, this year was an immense drop off. And not to say last year was elite, but you felt like, okay, I got a serviceable piece in there. I've got a piece that we can work through. This year it was like, please get him off the field.
Yeah.
He literally cannot stand up to the competition that's across from him. Yeah. Now, is that to say that he was not serviceable this year? At left guard, he was when Tevin Jenkins went down. That's why I think he's a backup piece that you can spot put in that moment and feel good about. But you just couldn't throw him in there at center anymore.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is a young man's game.
Yeah.
You're not at 30. The mileage is it it creeps up on you. Now, if you're one of the all-time greats, you can go to maybe 34, maybe 35. But once you start at like 30, I mean, he had a
Jason
pretty good
Kelsey's
run.
an anomaly.
I was just
Yeah,
thinking that
30
Jason
Six.
Kelsey is not
But he's
normal.
done.
Yeah.
He's done. Like, you know, I mean, you had what's the dude that we had that was 40? Jason Peters. Jason Peters. You know, those are all
You know
time.
he's still in the league.
Yeah,
he's
he's
still playing.
with the Texans, right?
He got injured too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was he Texans?
Yes.
Did Tunsil get hurt?
Yeah. No, I think he's on the other side because Tunsil is.
Oh, he was playing right. He was playing right.
I think so. But you know, those are like that's the type of guy, the caliber that we want. You know, you're trying to get a guy that can be here for like 8-10 years. I mean, Whitehair did enough. I mean, he did good. He was definitely for the pace regime, but you know, again, attrition, regression. It is what it is. You're getting older, so and not worth the money that he's probably going to command once you stay with with your team.
Yeah. No, and that's really what it comes down to. And
Seahawks. Okay, thanks, Kareem.
I was gonna say I don't think he's with the Texans. I was like, he's on the left side, ain't he?
I knew he's playing with somebody.
But
any of the 32 teams.
Any of the 32 teams.
Same thing, you know, Seattle, Texas, whatever.
Yeah.
Green, white,
here's what is interesting. Here's what's interesting now for the Bears, though, and what I really think is a good thing now in this situation. You save roughly $21.6 million. This puts you at the third highest spot on the cap. I just want to focus on the 21.6. All of a sudden, everybody got excited, right? Everybody got excited with the 21.6. There's Danielle Hunter. That's our next center. That's Jalen Johnson, boys. That's Jalen Johnson. We're paying Jalen Johnson first. Hey, and now that money is summed up, I would expect, right, and everything has to go through a new league year, blah, blah, blah. I would expect the Jalen Johnson deal to be a done deal pretty much at this point. And Jalen, here's your money, sir. 21.6 million.
So you thinking he's a 20 million player versus a little under that?
I think you have to. I think the time for you to get him at 17, you missed. The time for you to get him at 19, you missed.
Right.
You went to the end of the season. Y'all didn't come back to the table. Guess what? He had a Pro Bowl level finish to this season. Now he's a $20+ million per year player.
I just hope it's not like an Eddie Curry situation where it's like motivated to play.
Eddie Curry didn't even produce it.
No,
Eddie Curry had
balled out.
Eddie Curry, but you know what? No, Eddie Curry played well under the contract. No, he had like 4 or 5 years where he was actually like.
I misspoke. He was average to a degree, and then when he got into shape to earn that contract,
he got into shape to earn the contract.
You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up having to pay. And then after that was that whole heart thing. And then
I knew I wasn't tripping, right? So the Bulls traded Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry was averaging 16 points a game, 5 rebounds.
Five
crazy,
rebounds.
insane, bro, insane.
Kobe White averages more.
Traded him to the Knicks. He finished out. He played the next season 13-6. Felt like a failure. 19-7. Like he got to the point where he was actually a solid player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And then he immediately fell off after that. Right back to 13. He was trash.
Started no.
He was on kid number 17 at that point.
It was early 2000s.
No, New York after a while.
Is actually kind of elite.
19-7 in the early 2000s.
Oh, whoa, fellas. Over 200.
Over 200 in the chat. Hit that like button. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Showing love. Sorry about that, guys. We almost got a little bit of NBA talk.
Whoa.
Almost dropped it off. Going up.
Whoa. Watch yourselves.
Hold on, guys.
We never said the teams.
We never said the team. We never said the team.
Right.
We just talked about basketball.
It was just comparisons. Whoa. Easy, guys.
Everybody stay put.
Super chat from Levante Rogers. He says, does this newfound cap space signal a major move in free agency? Thank you, Cody and EJack, for your services at Chicago Bears. You had enough to pay JJ already.
I don't think it. Listen, are you going to make a major move in free agency? Yeah, you probably were going to make a big signing in free agency no matter what. I do think Danielle Hunter's a possibility. I do think that Chris Jones, they say he ain't going nowhere. Listen.
Ain't no need for us to have
listen. Here's all I'll say. That's not the first time we've heard somebody at a parade say they ain't going nowhere because they drunk.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
He's gonna
I
want
will
too much
say
money,
he
man.
did look like he did sound like he was
gonna-
drinking a little
As,
bit.
of course he was. It was
Yeah,
a Super
he
Bowl
feeling
parade.
good, man. Hey, baby, you know what I'm saying? I got
I ain't
the
going
Super Bowl.
nowhere.
Hey, I look
If
Kansas
I'm not
City.
mistaken,
Woo!
didn't Tom Brady
Get
throw
your green
the
hats.
trophy
We're
into
going
a lake or
streaking.
That
something?
man threw a trophy on the boat. It tried to pass it to another boat. Yeah,
It never touched the
I
water.
thought it hit the
but
lake.
it almost did. He was definitely gone.
Everybody's like, you can't disrespect the. He has 7 of them.
Hey, I can disrespect this one. I'm not going to disrespect the first 6, but this one,
I'm having fun with this one. I just want to see if I can throw.
Gronk dented it. Oh, no, that's what happened. Gronk dented it.
Gronk dented the trophy.
Gronk dented
That's
the
about
trophy.
right.
That's
That's
disrespectful.
about right.
He used the trophy to hit a baseball
Oh, come on, man.
at they were preparing to throw out the first pitch, I want to say, for the Rays.
I mean, Gronk got 4.
Yeah, he was like, I ain't worried about this one either. Hey, and it was a light tap. That man was like, pink, and he hit it with the ball, and it was a baseball dent in
Crazy.
Stupid.
How you get him fixed? It's
Hey, but
probably
you know what?
They're gonna buy another one.
I wanted to comment going back on because I saw somebody say that we have enough already with JJ before this happened with them being let go. Well, this actually opens up more opportunity for you to address the free agency at a premium, because that was the question, is whether or not we're going to be able to afford paying JJ and getting someone of a Chris Jones level, of a Daniil Hunter's level. Now you have the comfort zone where now you're what'd you say, the third most cap space going into this free agency period, and so now you can address both.
Let's get into that. Let's talk about what we want to see the Bears do. They now have the third most cap space. Let's take a quick break. Hear a word from our sponsors. Joe, get ready to cue that up. Shout out to Aura.
I know.
Shout out to Aura. I gotta let them know this time. We waited last time. We're gonna hear a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back on the other side breaking down the Bears having the most important cap space. And I got a question on, outside of family, who's the most important relationship in your life? See y'all on the other side.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold.
Is it?
Welcome back to another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Bears now sitting with the third most cap space in the NFL. What should they prioritize, right? Like we have Jalen Johnson. I think everybody knows that the move is to bring back JJ, right? Like you developed a 24-year-old DB.
I'm sorry. We got a super chat.
This
joker said, I got YouTube Premium and still got ads in my video. Son of a.
Hey, man, we got to make some money, dog. We got to make some money. Son of a. No, appreciate it.
We got one
we
more.
got some super chats rolling in. Lindell said, who else do you think is going to be a cap casualty this year or next if we decide to keep Justin Fields? Where's the money going to come from? That is an interesting angle that we could take on it as well.
Yeah.
Definitely address that comment in a second because, right, you got to talk about both sides of this. We don't know what's going to happen with the quarterback position, but
Justin money?
What I will say is, right, 21.6 million from this move, 68.4 million is now the third most cap space in the NFL. First off, can we get whenever you get a chance, get Ryan Poles on the screen just to all right, cool. Just to respect what he's doing out here. We've come into 2 free agencies, top 5 in money, and with 2 top picks in the draft. This guy knows what he's doing out here. But what I will say is, right, like, to me, the position of priority still needs to be on the defensive side. And I know that sounds crazy to say because 68.4 million, go get you a receiver to help whoever you're going to help. Because let's be real. If we do draft Caleb, you're not getting MHJ.
No,
you're not moving up enough to get
that
MHJ.
trade up to 3 is a pipe dream.
While I like Roma Dunze a lot, I don't know if Roma Dunze is a Quentin Johnston type of player where it's like, college looks great, baby. Here we go. Wait a minute.
Wow. You talked about being top 10 is a better option at that point.
Jackson Powers. Yeah, I would, but that's
thinking Jason Peters because we just mentioned
that's later in the that would be later on in the first round.
Zach
But
Frazier, Jackson Powers.
But I think the question you got to ask, right, the answer to me is Danielle Hunter. You build a defense where you're gonna have some issues at that free safety spot probably for a year. Maybe 2, right? Maybe you can address something quickly, but you make that a lot simpler if your quarterback that's dropping back on the other side every time is like Danielle and Montez. Who let them do this? Yeah, but you know when you build a fantasy team and you just be like, you look at somebody else's team, you just be like, how'd y'all let them get Jamar Chase, Patrick Mahomes, and Saquon Barkley? That's for Joe. How'd you let them get all of this?
What was that?
Put those running backs away, sir.
Hey.
You put those running backs away. Look at Ryan Poles in the back.
Did he put up a running back for $30 million?
Yeah, well, you know,
running back for that much. Stop.
But no, like I think that is the side that you do have to prioritize. Still bringing that edge in. I would love to get a Justin Metabike here.
Hey,
he might
underrated.
get tagged though. That dude's a monster.
Yeah, I don't expect him to leave the team.
I don't think
this year was his breakout year.
Yeah, I don't expect him to leave the team. That's the biggest part. And so you have to talk about guys who you feel like are going to leave.
You realize Poles, there's no dead cap money next year. He's got this thing pretty organized to a point where it's a blank slate almost with this team. Like once you move on with Whitehair and Eddie Jackson, like this is insane. Like, but to have the cap room, to have these picks, this is the most unique situation I've ever seen this team in. This is crazy.
But to address edge rusher too, like for me, that would be the way to go. Like we mentioned, Danielle Hunter. We talked about maybe Chris Jones also being in that, but now him saying whether or not it was true or not, him saying that he's going to stay, we don't know. But Danielle Hunter on the other side of Montez Sweat, you adding 16 to 17 sacks a season on that line, and then maybe the progression of somebody like Javon Dexter Sr. That would be something to salivate over in a sense. Pause. But what I'm saying is, I said pause. You don't you dare throw that flag. Don't you? Was that pause worthy? I mean,
that was pause worthy.
That would be celebrated.
No, it was getting there. You're good. You're good. Keep going, man.
All right. Anyway,
you said pause. You said pause quick enough. The flags are flip. You don't say pause quick enough.
I'm not challenging that till Friday. So what I think is that they're doing is that they need to address the edge first, and obviously build out from there in the draft with the offensive linemen.
Yeah. I can't believe this. I haven't really looked into everything, but Jay Grizz said, seen folks suggesting drafting Jeremiah Trotter for inside linebacker. Are y'all saying that this is Jeremiah Trotter like junior? Like, am I that old that Jeremiah Trotter, who used to play for the Eagles? It was the Eagles.
I mean, that's possible.
Like, I think this is that his son? Like, that's yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, this is how old we're getting.
Hey, here's the thing. First off, yes, you're that old. Doesn't even matter what conversation we're having here. Yes, you are that old.
Wow.
And yes, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. For the Clemson Tigers.
Is he a dog like his dad?
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've broken down any tape.
Right.
Jeremiah
I'm
Trotter.
just saying that's going to be
I'll get to him. I'll get to him one of these days. For
So
the
I'm not going
breakdown,
to.
since
I'm
you
not
mentioned
going to tell you that he's a dog or he's not a dog. But yes, you are that old. The moral of the story.
No,
yes,
I didn't
Joel,
even know. Like, you
that
know how
old.
you just like even in
No,
college.
I'm not gonna lie. Here's the crazy part. How you feel about Jeremiah Trotter
you,
Jr.
Levante.
is how I feel about MHJ.
Yeah.
Like I just remember like being like, how is anybody ever going to stop Marvin Harrison in the NFL with the duo of receivers that they have over there on the Colts? And now I'm like, his son might be better than him.
Since you read that,
No, it
comment,
wasn't
have
that.
to do
I
this.
just didn't know that he even existed. Like we've been hearing about Marvin Harrison Jr. for
Yeah.
a while. It was like he got a whole 20-some-year-old son to the draft. Not even freshman, not
Yeah.
sophomore.
Nope.
Hey,
This is
Baki pointed out a good one too. You know, Moose son in the draft.
Musa Muhammad.
Musin.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Musa
Hey,
Muhammad
man,
the
I
second.
don't
is
show
in the
no
draft.
love to Musa Muhammad, man. He dogged the Bears once he left. Talking about
I
this
gotta
is where
ask
wide
this, though.
receivers go to die.
Since Joe read that comment, I got to read the comment right above it.
What?
Said just trade back and quit playing and get the haul. If CW was 6'2", would be a different story. He's 6'1".
That's not true.
Can I ask you all this? Does the inch make that much of a difference?
No. Whoa.
You want me?
Hold on.
You want me to
Hold on.
Hey,
Wait. In full context.
ask your wife?
Does the inch
It was close.
Ask your wife.
Does
Ask
the
your
inch
wife.
make that much of a difference?
Ask your wife.
We're talking about,
I think
does
at
it
that
help him
position,
see over the defense that much more?
6'1" to 6'2", I think if it's 6 feet to 6'2", there's a difference. But 6'1", 6'2", that's a decent height. And plus cleats and everything else to come with that.
I love that Muggs don't give him the cleat height like he's out there playing in bare feet. That's I believe he's 6'1" with cleats on, right? Like that means he's 6'1", guys.
Right.
That's like when Muggs be like,
Mike Nice, what up?
when Muggs talk about the NBA, like, well, he's only he's 6'10" with shoes on. Is he playing barefoot out there? Like, was he free footing it out here? I don't know.
Drew
He said
told
you
you to
shrink in
pause.
the
He told
cold.
Kid to pause.
Oh,
That's an elite comment.
that's
right
a good
there.
comment. That's a
Literally,
good comment.
He said you shrink
So
in
he
the
might be
cold.
6 foot here, is what he's saying. He might lose an inch
That's
here.
an elite comment.
He might
right
lose
there.
an inch here.
Hey,
Pause.
I can't even be mad at that one. That is a crazy comeback. Right
Oh, whoa, 300 in the
Over
chat.
300 in the
Already?
chat.
27 minutes here. We got
Hit that like button, subscribe to the page.
Let's
man.
go.
No, let me.
Breeze Nation,
So what position would y'all be looking at? 300 in the chat, 75 likes. Let's get them up, man.
Yeah.
What position would y'all be looking at right now with the remaining cap space that the Bears do have? Because I do believe this: we head into next season one way or the other without cap space. We will have maybe 15 million to play with.
I know
think.
JC has a more in-depth take than I will on this one because I can see his wheels turning.
No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. For me, the most important piece is still playing JJ for two reasons. One, you saw what corners did in their whole Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like McDuffie put Debo in a duffel bag, like that man was covered.
Put him in the
Duffy.
Duffy.
He put him in a Duffy, dog. So like I feel like that's it, on two different things. It does for the Chicago Bears. One, it shows that Poles is willing to pay top talent. Remember, the whole Roquan situation was about money, and we let him walk. Now it ended up working out for us in the end, but it was about money.
It was more about tanking.
That's true. I mean,
It was more about tanking.
It's a couple of those things, but like realistically, we have to see that Poles is willing to pay for talent that comes here, shows up, and is worth being paid at the top of the market for their position. We haven't seen that part yet.
Well, look. Again,
listen to
you
me.
don't
I don't care what nobody
over-
says. He overpaid Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
I like Cole. I think Cole is a really good tight end.
Stonehands.
He paid him. Well, I don't think he's Stonehands anymore.
That was my old nickname.
I don't think he's Stonehands
That was
anymore.
my old
I think,
nickname.
I think that's the thing. What I will say is Cole Kmet looks to get tackled.
I do look like I'm about to sit there and like
does look to get tackled.
He looks to get tackled,
That
dog.
man
Like he
searches.
literally
I
is
look like I'm
like
about to
He doesn't
kidnap
have the
Kevin with the sound.
breakaway.
No, he doesn't.
He's just a solid. He's a solid.
He's a
player.
solid tight end.
He's a solid
But-
tight end.
Good
I
blocker,
thought he was a little bit of an overpay on that one, right? So I'm not tripping one way or the other, but I think the one thing that
Jay Crit
to me when you're looking to pay the talent, you just need to know that it's talent that's going to be here long term and give you elite production. Guess what? I would love to be paying young Eddie Jackson right now. I'm loving that we get to pay young Jalen Johnson right now. And you don't feel bad about paying somebody what they're worth. Yeah, you could have got Jalen Johnson a little bit of a deal, right, at 17, 18 million maybe if you pay him to start the season. But guess what? Now we know.
I like it.
When you know, you don't feel bad about it. Like me saying Jalen Johnson's worth $21 million. I would take the money you just saved and I would give it to Jalen Johnson.
I don't know. I feel more cutthroat, man. I'm like, if we can draft more corners, save that money, get us
Here you go
premium.
again,
I'm
man.
just saying,
They
they draft
under the bus. They proven themselves.
But
And
some
you just gonna
people
let 'em
would
go.
say that poses.
I'm
of
just
that
saying,
ilk to
take
do
the
that.
emotion out. That's all.
That's
Jesus
what it is.
Christ.
Like,
They
he
got to do
paid-
with Justin Fields.
He paid Montez
Yeah,
Sweat, but
that's-
Montez Sweat was
that's
established. Go ahead.
I think what's interesting is we always say that. Take the emotion out. Take the emotion out of it. They're people.
No.
Emotions are in this. I don't know if you know this. It's not a man.
No, no. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole.
Like,
Pay the man.
we cut.
pay the man.
You cut Jalen Johnson. You just cut Eddie Jackson,
Wait.
leader in that locker room. Go ahead, cut Jalen
Wait.
Johnson.
Can I interject who I would like us to,
Bear Lisa in the chat. Shout out to Bear Lisa.
Shout out Bearlissimo.
Yeah, I got to see. Look, Nation. I'm sorry. Okay, pay Jalen Johnson.
Nah,
I'm sorry.
jump him in the comments.
Done. Okay. No, I would like to see
Fight back.
because I'm worried
Fight
that
back.
there isn't.
Y'all ever seen that commercial where they jump old boy in? It's like, yeah, make a circle. Let's get it.
No,
they jump. It's like in gangland or something.
I would like. I do think we should address defensive end first because I just don't know if the draft is producing a. We're not getting a Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, who else is another guy? I feel like Will Anderson, who had like the quietest defensive player of the year award, as a rookie last year. That's the kind of. I mean, I think he was a good guy, but I think we really want some real production. And if we're going to spend some money, I would do that where we have true impact because that is the engine of this defensive line. And if they keep Dexter, they might end up keeping. If they end up keeping Dexter and they got Billings,
Yeah, they keeping Javon.
No, I'm saying if they actually start him,
over somebody
day
else.
one
He's
starter,
the number one. Yeah.
he's the day one starter, and then we got Billings. Then you just got to pay for the one defensive end. Now you can try to find your safety in the draft. You can get. Apparently, we need to sign a center, start him, but then we could draft a center as an eventual replacement.
Hey, the chat kicking Joel. The chat is going.
I know they're like, oh great, here we go.
Hey, no, but
Don't pay Jalen. What? Set of them.
I gotta ask you this though, like with how offense heavy this draft is it? I mean, is it a foregone conclusion that he uses this off of defense?
I don't think that
But
is a
no, I
foregone
said
conclusion, but there are some.
center and
There's important pieces that you do.
a
Or you're
receiver.
saying money wise.
No, money wise, like he should go all in on defense on that one because we have enough capital to draft offense.
I think here's the thing: what's all in on defense? Yes, you pay Jalen. Maybe you go out and get Daniil Hunter. Maybe you go out and get Justin Metabike. But
you at 56 right there.
But your boy from Tampa Bay,
about 40.
Your boy from Tampa Bay is
They
an
both 20.
unrestricted. He's an unrestricted free agent. Winfield.
Well, you can't get both of them.
That's a killer, right?
You
there.
can't get. You're not gonna get Metabike and get Daniil Hunter.
No, that would be a fight.
You're spending some money on the offensive side. You're gonna have to bring in some veteran guys on the offensive line. I'd maybe Dan Feeney's a guy that sticks around here long term. I love the mullet. I'm a big mullet guy.
I'm actually a big fan of what you got.
I'm a big mullet guy. I loved Feeney, Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World. That was my guy. You know what I mean? He was always teaching life lessons out here. You cannot go wrong with a Feeney lesson, bro. Feeney.
I'm really big on the idea that
the chat is not necessarily against me.
I'm big on the idea that your guy brought up.
I'm getting people. Hey, people actually, they're not all against me.
And letting the rookie center and rookie QB grow together.
I mean, that
idea sounded really cool.
It sounds
rookie
good.
what?
He was talking about. We had Jordan Reed on today from ESPN, draft analyst, and he was talking about you can go out and you can get the Bears have an opportunity to trade back and get Jackson Powers in the first round.
Yeah,
says Jackson Powers is a first round grade. Love it. Boom. All right, cool. We got Jackson Powers. We got our starting center for the next 10 years. I believe he is that.
That's what I want.
But I would not start
back 9.
I would trading back from 9. Yes.
Yeah, we're getting Caleb at 1.
But I would not start rookie because the one thing that you do know about that I do know about rookie quarterbacks is
Mario
they
boy.
can be broken in their first season.
Mhm.
It's like pitchers in baseball. You have to have that fine line. You have to say, okay, yes, I'm insulating this guy. Yes, I'm making this guy feel comfortable. He feels safe. He feels better. Not to say he's not working with Jackson Powers. Not to say Jackson Powers isn't coming in there and getting snaps in there. But the most important piece that you're going to put out there is going to be the quarterback.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because quarterbacks can transcend. If you feel like, I should say, let me if you think Caleb is what Caleb is, you can destroy all of that by having a rookie center in there that's like, wow, you know, these defensive linemen are pretty good at this level.
Yeah.
And if he spends his whole first season, and I think that's the thing about Justin, right? Justin spent his whole first 2 seasons running for his life.
Yeah.
Now
There
his
you go.
mental inclination is
Run.
to run.
Run. Yeah. Your time, your clock in your head is speeding up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that plays into it. I don't want to put another quarterback in that position. Put the best offensive line out there. Now, if you get through training camp, right, and you get through preseason and stuff like that, and you look at Jackson Powers and you're like, yo, he just killed like Aaron Donald. Like, yo,
But
he's
what if that's the
destroying
case?
people. That's
He's
very
a highly,
different.
but this is you talking about not just drafting a center. We're talking about there's at least 2.
You're taking him
talented-
first round.
There-
Jackson Powers ain't getting
There
up
aren't
first
that many
round.
centers that get taken in the first round. So this probably is your day one starter. Like what?
I'm having a deja vu moment. You just mentioned something to me. Who was the left guard that we had that had a really good game against Aaron Donald? He came out of Iowa as a center prospect.
James Daniels.
James Daniels. James Daniels.
We thought James Daniels was going to be good. He had that really good game against Aaron Donald. He held his own one-on-one
Actually,
against
James
him.
Daniels
He
played
is
well
good,
against
and he-
Aaron
and they
Donald
just-
almost every time.
He is
my
good,
goodness, I
and-
love James Daniels.
And
He was
good. He went to Pittsburgh.
no, him and Braxton feel the same to me.
Whoa, we
Good
got
enough.
400.
400 in the
Over
building.
400 in the chat. Hit that like button.
Yeah,
Appreciate
let's
y'all.
get it to 5.
On God,
Oh,
on
on
God,
God.
let's get it to 5, baby.
Tabernacle.
But no, him and Braxton feel similar to me, where like
Okay.
there's growth and development that needs to get there. I think we just got to the ceiling of James Daniels, and there was somebody available, right? Because we end up taking Cody Whitehair. No, we end up taking we
Tevin.
got Cody Whitehair. We
Tevin.
end up taking Tevin.
Yeah.
And
Tevin
Tevin was
Tevin.
more
Yeah.
And that was a pace move.
that was a pace
pace
move.
move,
It was more
yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, but you know what? Just to go to give my input on what do they prioritize? So if I'm playing GM, especially in the free agency first, I'm going for
Thanks, Jay Grizz.
wide receiver 3,
Yeah.
specifically, and safety. As we mentioned, Antoine Winfield could be out there. That would be a really good upgrade
Bro,
immediately. You're talking about somebody that can, cover all bases at safety.
we
Get
need-
in the trenches, get aggressive in on blitz packages or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Then you're talking about wide receiver 3, because I think we'll address wide receiver
no, we
2
need-
in the draft.
Oh, okay.
I
So
was
you
wondering
get
where you
somebody
was
like
going
a
with this one.
Curtis
Come
Samuel.
bring it
Well,
full
and that's
circle.
why I've asked this question, right? If you're going to go out and get a wide receiver 3, now you have to. Here's the one thing that going back. I don't know. I've rewatched a lot of these Bears games. They're as bad as we thought they were, but
They are who we thought they
they're as
were.
bad as we thought they were. I'm not gonna lie,
And
because
we let him off the hook.
everybody was killing me, and they was like, "Pat, how can you say Justin played bad?" I rewatched that Cleveland game. He played bad.
But
in-
they
in
threw
the-
for
in that Cleveland game
5,000
specifically.
times.
In that Cleveland game, he played bad. But still, right? Like, I think Darnell Mooney was put in a lot of bad situations. Is he somebody that with a new OC, that with a new
Shout out to
I mean,
Daryl
possibly a new quarterback coming in
Hold on.
that you paid to keep around?
Hold on, real
Yes.
quick. Shout out to Daryl Davis. Yo, what up, family? Truck driving and listening. Had to pull over for my 30-minute break to really listen to the show. We appreciate
That's
that,
what's
man.
up,
Hey,
man.
shout out,
Appreciate
shout
that.
out to
Thank
Daryl,
you.
man. One
That's
love,
love,
one
bro.
love.
Yeah, we love
One
that.
love.
And we used to get a lot of love from all those over the road truckers doing a live.
Oh,
call.
yeah?
Yeah, doing a live
That's,
call. That
you
You was
only
getting a lot of love with those.
That's a flag.
Is that
That's
a-
a flag. Yep, it's out there.
Hey-o.
I threw mine already.
It's a flag
I threw
for me.
mine already. I
Got a
threw
lot of
mine
love
already.
on road there.
That's a flag.
Jordan, you lot listen. You better hold that flag. You better hold that flag. You lot listen. You better stop it.
Throw that flag,
You
Jordan.
better stop it. You better
Throw
hold
that flag,
flag.
Jordan. Do not let him.
You better not gang up on me. I fight back.
Right back.
Jesus.
Anyways,
But no, do we think that Darnell Mooney is a guy
You too,
that?
you son.
I threw it already. It's out there. My flag is thrown. Do we think that Darnell Mooney is somebody that you would want to bring back?
it's probably going to end up. What is his number? I mean, I think he's a really good receiver. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. I just think
1 year. Yeah.
As the wide receiver 1 on the team, he was.
But I'm saying he has the ability to do it. Do I want to overpay? No, I don't want to overpay for anybody.
I guess here's the tough part then, right? Because do you just are you going out to
I like him as a slot,
or do you just keep Tyler Scott and actually put him in a slot?
Tyler Scott worries me.
I do that.
My thing is I look at Mooney as a great slot receiver. So I would hate to see him go as a slot receiver.
Great.
He hasn't proven that.
He was the number 1 receiver when that's all he had.
Take the Justin Fields approach. He didn't have the opportunity.
No.
Take the Justin Fields approach. Did they put him in a slot or not? Did Justin throw it to him in a slot or not? Nope. Give him the opportunity.
Now here's what's hilarious. It's not
colors on right now.
Here's what's hilarious. He's gonna go to Kansas City
and be a stud.
Because the ball will hit his hands and he will catch it.
Yeah, like
that's the only reason. He's gonna be amazing. Why is he so good over there?
So hot
the
right
ball
now?
hit his hands, he caught it.
Mooney did okay. The thing is that we all agree that we see hardly any slants this past year. Did they put these receivers in a position to do anything? So we didn't see him. We didn't see any trips, any bunch formation. We didn't hardly see any of that good stuff.
Much across the middle did you see at all?
Hardly any. And so the whole point is that. You trying to get your what? Trying to get your flag? No, you lost it. No, I just think that he has the ability. I just think that there's a reason that Getsy was fired. There's a reason that all of our offense wasn't necessarily like it was supposed to be. So I think if you put him as a slot receiver, not number 1, not number 2, he could be a valuable receiver. Now the problem is, at what cap number at his age? I think what is he, 28?
No.
How old is he?
That feels old for
like
Darnell
26.
Mooney.
How old is he?
Darnell Mooney, let's look it up. Is 26 years old.
There you go.
All right, okay. So 26. He's still young enough, but then again, what's the cap number going to be?
See, the only reason why I would even think of giving him at least 1 more year is because you have a whole new system that you're trying to put in place with Shane Waldron, with Thomas Brown, with all of these guys that came in. So maybe the understanding is that they utilize him better than Getsy would ever have.
Yeah,
but
that's my point. Is he going to be be different?
Yeah.
And does he become like a Darnell, a Tyler Lockett in Seattle?
That all day, yeah.
Like the way that they use their receivers. I mean, we might have. I don't think we have a DK, but who was the number 2? Was it Tyler Lockett? No, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the third.
Yeah.
Mooney becomes
really
him.
The 4.
No,
he's really the 4.
Yeah, but I think Mooney becomes him, and then DJ Moore was technically our Lockett, and we just don't have that big the threat that we need, the number 1 or something like that, or the number 2.
Well, you would hope that would be Roma Dunze.
I would just think all the way around we're going to see better quarterback play for the simple fact that Shane is there. I'm not going to make it just seem like a
quarterback play from who?
I'm just saying quarterback play, period.
I was trying to get you.
Hey, I like Daryl Davis. He's asking about Saquon Barkley. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it must be.
And Brandon Ayuk and Ayuk. He said.
But I'm saying, like, realistically, though, we're going to see more of Cole Kmet and stuff like that, just because if you look at what Shane has done and the type of scheme that he runs, you're going to see more production out of those pieces anyway. So I think that's going to work to our advantage. I do think there's going to be Caleb doing it. Sorry about that. But at the end of the day, like,
son of a
hey, the Bears,
Bears
fans are so toxic. You can't say that. Everybody tiptoes around that. Like, I'm not saying I'm against Justin. I'm just saying, like, everyone has to give that preface before they say anything about it.
I'm for Justin for the reason you said. I think no matter what, you're going to put yourself in a situation where you have success here. That's what Ryan Poles is built.
It's a win-win situation.
I really believe that no matter what the Bears do going into next year, we're talking about a team that's going to be successful.
I say there's 2 Heisman quarterbacks in this draft.
Hey,
we sell the first pick for Caleb, and then we move down, get the haul.
Make it sound a little less slavery-ish.
I'm just saying.
We sell the first one
to the highest bidder. I have to say the highest bidder. If we're going to move off Fields. Now, if we keep Fields, I would love the haul and get all these picks and build the squad.
I don't think you get a haul regardless, because I do believe and I've always felt that I think he articulated it better. You're not going to get a haul because I do believe we're going to go 1, 2, 3 in quarterback picks.
Yeah, but the one, right? You also have to listen to what he said about where the one.
Where the one is.
The one is in a tier of his own.
Different tier. I give you that.
Which is great. 2 and 3. Like, yes, we can all get quarterbacks. All these quarterbacks aren't made the same.
But he also said,
listen, Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes,
Big difference.
Mitch Trubisky.
But he also said,
Hayes said I got a slave master name.
So, like, I don't feel like either team that needs a quarterback is desperate to get the historic haul that we would want. If it's going to be better than what they got.
I think Washington's trying too hard to make it seem like they're not desperate now, because hiring Cliff Kingsbury seemed like the most desperate move of all time.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, we would never pay to go get Caleb. Like, why would we want this Washington?
No, you know what they're going.
Who's also going to sell us a lot of jerseys and could be generational. We would never want a player like that.
By the way, they had the number one in cap space, right? 80 something. I think Baki just put that out there.
Yeah.
They're number one, so they're going to be spending all the free agents,
spending money.
They're going to spend the money.
They're going to get Caleb and be like, we gonna buy an offensive line,
exactly.
defensive line. They're gonna be like the Panthers were this year. They're gonna get to the other side and be like, man, we got a good team here, but if we just could have gotten a defensive line together, we really would have been set.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the Panthers are just like, all we need is a wide receiver and a running back, and we'd have been fine. Be like, yeah, you let them all go. Like, one's in San Francisco and the other two are in Chicago.
That was a different GM though, right? Didn't they fire? Is that the same?
They fired everybody in there in 1 year.
But the GM that made the McCaffrey trade, was he the same GM that was there and then they fired?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was through all of that.
Yeah,
he got fired this past year.
Yeah. It's not good.
I think
he basically gutted the team and then got fired.
F&A, Cotton, F&A.
I was wondering where we was going with that. I was like, I didn't hear that one before. All right, cool. But I would say this, though, just because we're talking about these particular teams now, I mean, let's be real. As far as OCs are concerned, he was one of the better ones out there. And I think at the time that they hired him or in talks with him when they first initiated, Eric Bieniemy wasn't available at that time.
Who?
Washington. I mean, they fired him.
Yeah, he was available. They just didn't want him.
They fired him.
They could have made him the head coach.
Like, so I mean,
Eric Bieniemy doesn't have a job either. That's kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy. So, like, out of all the people that you would get as an OC, he was it.
Yeah.
So I think like it's just coincidence.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
no, it's
wait, who you talking
he
about?
talking about Kingsbury. He talking about
Kingsbury was a good OC.
Nah,
he just didn't click with Tyler.
They swooped in on Kingsbury, bro, because Kingsbury was like, we're gonna give you 2 years and we're gonna give you this money. We're not giving you 3. Yeah. And Washington was like, I got that 3rd year for you.
If Kingsbury was available for us over Shane, we would have considered it too.
Cliff Kingsbury was available for us over Shane.
We didn't.
We didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
we chose the guy to develop Geno Smith.
You chose the guys that developed quarterback.
Wait. You developed a quarterback?
Yeah.
I'll take that.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Something we've never done here. Develop a quarterback.
Hey, man, let's get into this. Let's get into this final topic. Before we do that, we are going to let you guys know all about Underdog Fantasy. Listen, here's the thing about Underdog, man. I want to tell you guys about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action. The NFL season has come to an end, and it's time to get in on some NBA action. It's Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite players and their stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. If you're poor, get in on this. I'm kidding. Read the promo code, all of that. Underdog keeps it super simple. Easiest way to use the website, mobile apps. You pick between 2 and 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry. Get every pick right and take home some cold, hard cash. Use the promo code TWCB and get your first deposit doubled up by, y'all ready for this, boys? You ready for this? $500.
Ooh, dollars.
Promo code TWCB and get your first deposit doubled up by $500. They got a bunch of games that you can get in on fantasy. And the best part about it, you can draft your fantasy team in minutes. You sign up with the code, you'll double on your first deposit up to $100 in free bonus cash when you make your first deposit of $10 or more. Again, promo code TWCB, Underdog Fantasy. Get in on that.
Hey, Joe.
Huh?
Why is it called cold hard cash if it's paper?
I don't know, Paris. Why?
I figured you were old enough to know.
Oh,
Damn.
He assumed you were there when they came up with the term.
The phrase was birthed with
It was
you.
an old man joke.
He was old when they transferred it from gold to the currency.
Remember we was at his house and we asked him, you know why what was it? You know why cars were so popular in New York? Oh no, do you know why all the New York brownstones have stoops? And Joe was like, because the horses died in front. It was like,
what?
Answered that a little quick. That's that little quick.
He was
That's
back there.
true.
No,
Yeah.
because of the horse poop.
Oh,
That's why all the townhomes have stairs that lead up to it. The first floor is not the first
I
floor.
thought that was you. Maybe it wasn't.
no.
Maybe there was somebody older than you.
I
there.
mentioned the question and you answered it.
I would.
You were
okay.
drunk.
Oh,
Great.
thanks, guys.
Because of the poop. Hey, let me ask y'all this real talk. Since we got off on a little tangent there, is there a more important relationship in your life, or what's the next most important relationship outside of family? Because I was sitting there today stressing because I didn't know if I was going to be able to make my haircut appointment. I think for me, the next important relationship outside of family is my barber, bro. And I'm not even ashamed to say that. Shout out Q Skipper.
What you were gonna say? That's
Gets me right.
Yes, Pat.
Well, I know not you.
My barbers.
I know not
yes.
you. I mean, back in the 40s, you had it. Like I feel
Jay
like that's
Chris
the most
said my
important
tax
relationship
person.
in my life.
Hey,
Jay Chris said my tax person. That's not bad. That's not a bad one.
Outside of God, I feel like he has to be mentioned here. You know, like
yeah, that's a fact.
Well, God's one. That's family.
Outside.
Wow, you ain't know what to do.
Actually, I like the way you put
Outside
that.
of
actually makes sense.
outside, that's my father. Outside of your family, right? What's the most like? I literally was like, yo,
I
like,
feel like your closest friend,
Actually,
though.
tax guys. That's a pretty.
hey,
good
I ain't
one,
gonna lie
'cause,
to
I
you.
gotta make
I've
sure-
lost friends, but my haircut was fresh.
You're just a morbid dude.
Yeah, I mean, like
I can find another barber. I can find another close
can you
group of-
find another barber though? I don't know.
Absolutely. You definitely can now.
There's too many barbers out here, dog. I don't trust them.
Hey, that's why
a good
that's
question.
it has to be.
How
your
high
friend.
is the barber on your list?
Oh, Barber's up there.
I mean, like barber, like I'm not gonna lie, it's like
Shout out to Rodney, by the
it's
way.
legit, right? We start with God, mama, daddy, wife, baby. I'm not
Family,
going in order, but like I'm going
my
through
guys,
the family,
and then
right?
I think
Barber. I don't know. Yeah, barber might be above y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
What about your day ones, like your guys? that
Like
do-
you might turn on me one day and I'm gonna go to Q and he gonna be like, what happened?
Hey, Pat, that just lets me know how you feel about me, dog. I'm gonna turn on it, but his barber gonna be cool.
I mean, listen.
His barber only see him because it's a transactional thing. I cut hair, you pay me. That's all
My
it is.
my
Hey, man.
mortgage guy.
Can't go wrong with a good mortgage guy.
Hey, my private investigator.
Whoa.
How about that one?
Oh, that's not nice, Nick. Yeah,
All right,
Nick-
guys.
Nick-
All right.
Nick-
All right, let's get back into
No,
some
hey,
sports
hey,
talk.
Let me calm down.
That's a great
Let's
relationship.
get back into some sports talk out here.
Free my man Jay.
Jesus. Calm down, my guy.
Tag almost had it.
This goes into court of law. This is video evidence, my
Perry,
guy.
you are banned from throwing stuff.
Hey, yes,
by the way.
please stop
Throw
throwing
it that
things.
way.
That's still scary.
Thank goodness you didn't knock something over, buddy.
Man, I'll throw this flag at you.
SWAT
Yeah,
said-
you would, and you won't hit nothing, but everything
SWAT-
else hit right in the ceiling. Go ahead,
SWAT-
Go ahead, throw it.
SWAT said, I haven't seen my barber in over 3 years. Thanks, DNA.
It's been over 20 plus years for me. I'm like, I thought I was messing with kid about getting the hair restoration thing, and I'm
I
sitting there
told
thinking
you,
like,
dog.
if I do that, you talk about I gotta go to back. I heard haircuts are like what, like $30, almost
Oh, yeah,
$50.
at least.
I pay about 40
That's
a week.
crazy. It was like $20, $25 when I
I
used
ain't
to
gonna
get
tell you
haircuts.
what I
Tip is
paid
like
for my
50
last.
Yeah, I'm paying about 40 a week.
Jeez. Anyways,
Hey, somebody said, Nick Emerson said Joe remembers the Boston Tea Party.
I know. Yeah, I was gonna say
Listen,
that.
that's
I feel
it's
some
not
type of way.
nice.
Pat just said I might turn on, but his barber was safe.
Listen, I ain't never had a barber turn on me, dog. I've had friends turn it
You
back on
pay
me.
your barber.
Hey, try running
Hey,
out of the
good
shop.
people.
After
Great
a cut one day,
conversation.
you'll see.
It's like having a good bartender.
You pay your bartender.
Yeah, but they'll sit there and listen to you.
Hey, that's a good one too.
You
Bartender.
pay your bartender. Oh, by the way, Brianna down the street is a great bartender.
Calm down.
I'm just letting you know she made
Levante
drinks.
said I pay $60 for my haircut.
Yeah, I was about to say
That's
it,
about
it,
right.
it can get pricey.
Now, see, here's a tough one. Jay Grizz
60
say,
with no tip?
I pay $35 for my 7-year-old son.
Oh, that's cap.
Hey, I'm cutting my.
I just
if I
gave
have
my
a
barber
son,
for
I'm
my
cutting
son
his hair.
25.
Barber lives matter. Calm down, Tanner.
$7-year-old, $20.
All right, let's get
I
back
know,
into
Nick.
some football talk here, boys, because Jordan brought up a interesting breakdown here about.
Yeah.
Stop talking about my Jay President.
I mean, listen, he brought up an interesting breakdown on Caleb Williams, draft breakdown, draft prediction. Said Williams is too undisciplined, moody, immature to ever realize his potential.
I am not.
Jordan, break
Jeez.
this down, dog.
I'm gonna let
Yeah,
you-
so-
Break down this draft. Break down who we're talking about what's going on, why we should care about this opinion. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I opened it up and saw the website, I was like, "Yep, that checks out."
Yeah.
You are
Well,
such a hater.
I'll say this. The reason why I gave it a little bit of credibility is because this guy, named former NFL scout for the Jets, Daniel,
For who?
for the Jets.
For the
There you
Jets.
For the Jets. Hey, man, watch it. Daniel Kelly. So he actually had a pretty good resume. You know, he was under the regime of Bill Parcells. You know that name. You know Bill Belichick.
Yep.
Scott Pioli, Mike Tannenbaum. Had a few stints with being a guest on ESPN Radio, Fox Sports Radio. So decent resume, right? What he says, or the first person that has ever said, is that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. And so that got me to thinking, like, well, what is this guy talking about? So, you know, he goes through a slew of reasons why Caleb Williams might not be generational as everybody else says. And the crazy thing, first of all, is a lot of people were grilling me for putting this video up earlier in the comment section, because saying, well, you can't really look at the credibility. And shout out to Jay Crit, because I think Jay Crit actually had this conversation with me on the comment section. He said you can't really check out the credibility of somebody like that that's going to say he's a bust outright before he's entered the league. Well, here's my argument to that. How are you going to sit here and allow people to say the generational and Patrick Mahomes-esque before he's even taken a snap in the league as well? Those guys need to be held accountable. You have Mel Kiper out here, always, you know, wrong in his expertise, but he's one of the guys that people go to, right? So with that being said, everybody's opinion is just that. It's an opinion at the end of the day.
I love the video Joel sent earlier where it was like all of like Stephen A, Shannon Sharp, Dan Orlovsky, all of these guys basically just being like, you can explain Pat Mahomes any way you want. He's still not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. He's on his third Super Bowl win, fourth Super Bowl appearance, sixth AFC title game
he also
win.
went to the right team. I really think that if you
I think
if
scheme
Deshaun
matters.
Watson or maybe even Mitch went to that type of environment, sat for 1 year, sat for a year,
You still got to be talented.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying they're all. Deshaun is definitely talented.
Deshaun would have cooked.
But the fact is that because Deshaun was killing in Texas,
Deshaun was considered
so it's
more
not like
accurate,
they were like, yo, there's a reason he got 230 million guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I just think that's interesting how people were saying that about how they just don't know. It's an inexact science when it comes to this.
The worst thing about the entire Caleb conversation is everyone is looking at the draft comp, and they're not looking at it from the aspect of they're comparing his comp to rookie, first year, second year Patrick Mahomes. They're not comparing him to a polished 6-year AFC. They're not doing that. They're looking at all those intangibles that gave you that Patrick Mahomes that walked into the league. If you look at it from that aspect, it's the same draft program.
Hey, kid, second year Pat Mahomes went to the Super Bowl
Second
and
year-
won.
What I said, they're comparing him to a young Patrick Mahomes coming into the league. They're not doing it like, oh, look at this fully established Super Bowl winning QB. They're not doing it from that aspect. They're looking at, hey, this is how he walked into the
first
league.
season. He was 12-4. That means you think he gonna walk into the league and he's
His
gonna be
first
one of
season,
the
he
best
played one
quarterbacks.
game.
No, his first season playing. I'm saying he was 12-4.
Yeah, but his first season playing, he was still drafted. What 10th? He was still a top 15 pick in his
I
draft.
think he was the 15th pick.
I believe
No.
he
he was
was
like 12.
He was
12
12.
because I think
Deshaun
Watson
was 10.
went.
Deshaun was 10.
No,
No,
Deshaun was
Deshaun
after
wasn't.
him.
I'm sorry. So Patrick was 10. Deshaun was 12.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm just saying, like, he was still a relatively high draft pick. He was
To me-
top 15 in his draft class.
His first season playing. If we're setting it,
His
if
first
we're
season playing was 5,000 yards.
if
I know how
we're
many yards
comparing
he
it
threw.
to a young
Jesus,
Pat
man.
Mahomes out here, I'm just saying, dog.
I'm talking about his draft profile when they drafted
But
him, not
fel-
his first year playing.
But see
I get that part.
that's the thing. Well,
Well, I
what
would
you
say
said
this.
is not that. But I think that's the thing, right? Like you're comparing him to a dude that walked into the NFL, put up 5,050 and 12.
Well, it's
I mean, he didn't do that his first season.
the other
He
thing.
didn't-
Yes,
But look,
he didn't do that his first. He sat.
his first season playing. You know, I'm
He's
talking about
sad.
his first season playing. He
But
put
he's
up
sad.
5,050 and 12.
I get you. I'm not discrediting that, but what I'm saying is they're not comparing him to that they're looking at his draft profile.
What they
compared to-
comparing him to the dude that
Patrick
was
Mahomes
sitting on the
coming in.
bench? Let's.
I mean, the dude
no,
that
they're,
was sitting
they're
on the
probably
bench.
comparing
I mean,
him
he
to when
had
he
the-
came out.
Yeah,
But the thing is this, like you look at Mahomes, even Dak, like even Hurts when they started to really develop and build around him. These guys, when you give them the environment so they can thrive. The thing is that they all Caleb Williams or whoever if we move on from Fields, whoever we get needs to inherit a decent enough team so that it's not getting killed.
Yeah.
So I think they clearly all have a level of talent and ability. Now, some of them, maybe when they get to the NFL, the bright lights are a little too bright for them to a degree. But there's something that gets you to get the attention in the entire world, because you're one of the top. You're talking about in the world. This
GM
is
egos.
Huh?
GM egos.
Well, GM egos, that's fine.
Usually like.
But my point
when I
is
think
that
about
put
the
them in
Bears,
an
it's
environment
like,
for them to
we got to
thrive.
find the special one. We got to find the perfect one. We got to find. And you
We
look
did find a
around.
special.
You look around and you go, "Hey, you picked Mitch.
He was special.
Special at what?"
Losing.
And
I was about to say.
what was it? Those 13 games that he
He's
played
special
in
at beating
UNT?
Detroit.
Are you talking about with the Bears?
It's just a joke, dog.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. I'm
Hey,
like,
he
I never know
Detroit,
a kid. I thought he was serious.
Oh, come on.
I thought he was serious.
hey, you know
He
what
was a Mitch fan all
I
until he
rolled with
threw
Mitch
that
for a
pick
minute.
last year.
I rolled
Oh
with
yeah,
Mitch
you
for a
were.
minute.
Yeah.
I like Mitch. I
roll with
thought
Mitch.
Mitch.
thought he was okay.
I saw
Mitch
Mitch
was
for what he
terrible.
was. You needed to scheme around the man, and they didn't let him
They
do
didn't
what he
do it.
needed to do.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
He unemployed now. Go get him.
Hey, Mitch.
No,
Mitch-
all right.
It's too
Hey.
late now. He's broke. He's broken now.
Wow.
he is unemployed.
Hey,
But
he
you know what?
unemployed
You know
now.
what? This going back into this article, one of the reasons why I found a little bit of it interesting is because when he starts to break down Caleb, he does give him some credit. He obviously says he's loaded with God-given raw arm strength. He has a lead ability to create and extend plays, but he's underdeveloped in the finer points of the position, which means at the NFL level, is he going to throw the ball quicker, quick time, precise downfield ball placement, ball security? Those are all things that are really important at the next level, that when you go to his highlights, you don't necessarily see that more so than you see him with just the flashy plays and the big play hunts. Like, and that's why, interesting enough, he compares this person to Caleb Williams to Zach Wilson. And then before anybody says, wait a minute, if you go back to the highlights of Zach Wilson and BYU,
Zach Wilson BYU highlights.
the man,
was nice.
they kind of looked a little identical in some of the ways they played the game. Whether it was him scrambling in the pocket, trying to adjust to get that big play hunting, or the arm talent, the off script plays, that's exactly what Zach Wilson got, and what kind of corralled him or rose him up to being the second in the draft.
Yeah.
After Trevor Lawrence.
You
Yeah.
see how
Yeah.
polarizing this conversation is. In the same day that you read that, and I read it with you, sent that link.
Yeah.
He also has a scout come on and pretty much break down how Caleb does really well in getting that ball out quick, being a grip and rip it type quarterback, as the exact phrase he used. So, and he's elite at that, and he only did those big game hunting type plays because he had no defense. He had to score every time. He had the Superman mentality.
Well,
So I mean, like it's a flaw. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like he just said that he doesn't excel in that. And it was like,
But see,
it's a lot of people that would say different.
look, back in the day,
Yeah.
they used to draft a quarterback.
No, you got to say
Back
in my day.
back in my day,
when they didn't throw the ball.
Back in my day, the
they would
40s.
draft, but they would typically try.
What y'all don't know about Joel is he invented the finger wag dance.
But they
Hot
would
dog, hot
typically
dog, hot
hot
diggity
diggity
dog.
dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. They would typically try to let the quarterback sit.
Yeah.
And then once like the Uber type quarterback of like the Peyton Mannings of the world started coming in, they made them start instead of letting them really sit, which was typically the plan. We're getting to a point now where the game is so much faster. Like a lot of these quarterbacks are not necessarily able to just come right in and just thrive. And so to a degree, like I was trying to make my point earlier, someone like a Dak Prescott who inherited a pretty good team, someone like Mahomes who inherited a good team, you try to insulate them. But then again, look at Aaron Rodgers, look at Jordan Love,
Well,
look at a lot of guys that got a chance to sit for some time to actually really, like Caleb Williams, if you let him sit for a year and he comes out, he's probably going to be dynamic.
No, because it depends on who he's sitting behind.
Facts.
But you still got to learn the game. You're going to see the
Who
game.
did Kyler sit behind?
Yeah, you can see the game the wrong way.
Who did Kyler sit behind?
Okay.
Kyler Murray.
The whole point is that
Nobody.
Kyler Murray
no, he started. They didn't start
Kyler
these
Murray
guys.
is like the
Kyler
recent
Murray started
exception.
day one.
But my point is
Kyler
just
Murray's a
that
good QB, just mentally.
a lot of times these guys do have the ability,
leader.
but sometimes they may not be ready, but they also go through the pressure of you're a high draft pick, you have to start. And I just think that whatever quarterback, a lot of times these guys are under like Deshaun Watson was able to really kind of do a lot of off script stuff.
Deshaun
really
Watson is an anomaly.
He's
Yeah,
one of
he was.
exactly one of the few guys that could start where other guys. I mean, you think if Mahomes came in and started right away, he would probably have that. He would be doing what he's doing.
Probably.
He probably benefited from sitting just that one
He had
year.
a pretty good team.
I think he would
inherited
still
a
be
great
doing
team.
what he's doing, but he wouldn't have 3 Super Bowls. I think he would have.
he might have 4.
I think he would have leaned more on those.
I see you
negative-
saying with
They
Joe
win the
Burrow
AFC
did shit.
championship
Right.
game that
he
year.
said, huh?
The one thing you can't undersell is Andy Reid has developed now
There you go.
5 quarterbacks.
Facts.
Like Andy Reid just knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
See, I like-
The question you have to ask us is, do we have a situation where our guy knows what he's doing? That's what the question is going to be with Shane Waldron. I don't know if the consensus is that you can get that Shane Waldron will get the most out of quarterbacks.
Who's Mr. Wait, what Mr. I like Mr. Inglewood. He's like, well, Joe Burrow didn't
you like
start.
what?
Herbert did, he started. The whole point is that, but Burrow may not have a body left in the next 2 years because they didn't protect him and give him a full team.
But that has nothing to do with his talent.
But what I'm
It just
getting at
has
is
to do with
that
how long he's going to last getting murdered.
a lot of it is getting them into a great. You want to try to get them the best situation for them to thrive. So if you can have an offensive line, you can have things in place
Yeah,
for
but
them.
most of these guys don't, though.
I'm just saying
Most
that
of these guys don't go to the best. Like
right, they don't.
Deshaun Watson didn't go to the best situation to thrive. He actually went to one of the worst. He had 5 tight ends basically
I
blocking
agree.
for him every play.
I agree.
But it just it showed
But
like
it would have
that's,
been better.
that's the top of the draft, though.
I understand. I'm just saying that that's the conundrum that we deal with high draft picks. It is such a, it's not an exact science because a lot of times you don't know what happens when you put them in those situations instead of the perfect situation, which hardly ever happens. But when someone like Mahomes, who gets one of the perfect situations, and he can thrive, because otherwise, trust me, if everybody knew that he was the greatest of all time, he would have been the number one pick.
I would say this in agreement with you. The one thing that matters the most is whoever it is, even if it's still Justin, is that Shane allows them to be who they are. And I think Patrick Mahomes has said it 3-4 times. Andy Reid let him be him. And he coached him along the way and things of that nature, but he allowed him to be him in that process. So he never lost his own identity. And that builds confidence. I think that if I'm being honest, that's the one thing that I feel like we've ruined in Justin, which is why I want him to go to a better situation where he can feel appreciated and stuff like that, because we've ruined his confidence.
Did we?
He's not
I don't think we ruined his confidence.
No, we didn't ruin his confidence.
I don't. Here's the thing.
He's not the same. Like we even saw through times he regressed even through the passing mechanics that he was developing. You've said it. You said it on the show.
I think
he regressed several times. It's like, what are we doing?
I think he progressed a ton at the end of the season, and people just don't want to admit that because they're ready to move on to the next quarterback. Since from where he came back from injury, Justin Fields was a different quarterback. He was a better quarterback. He was a more efficient quarterback. Yes, everything didn't end with him being the savior every single day and him being the amazing quarterback that you wanted to see, but it did end with him winning the game. At the end of the day, winning the game is what it's about, and Justin Fields is able to lead his team to do that. With all the issues that we all cite are still issues. My issue is that Caleb Williams is going to show up here, and we're just going to do all this again for the next 3 years because he was supposed to be generational. He was supposed to be number one, but guess what? He don't have a center. He don't have a left tackle. He doesn't have enough wide receiver help. He doesn't have a running game. He's going to have a new coach in a year because the same cycle starting over again is my issue with Caleb Williams. It's not that I don't think Caleb Williams can come into the league and play. It's just that I have a quarterback that's already dealt with that cycle and kind of knows how to navigate his way through it versus a quarterback who, maybe he does come in and maybe he does have a higher ceiling. But nobody ever says maybe he doesn't.
Homeboy.
It's like as much maybe he does it, and I said this on the Bears pod a couple of days ago. Be honest with me. Who's the greatest college quarterback y'all ever saw?
Greatest college quarterback I've ever seen. Am I supposed to say Tim Tebow?
Well, I mean, listen, for me, it's Tim Tebow.
That I've seen?
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's the greatest
Mike
college
Vick?
quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Mike Vick was
Buddy was nice. I ain't gonna lie.
Tim Tebow. I would say Tim Tebow for me, right? Tim Tebow's the greatest college quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
Well, they were winning a lot.
Who's the quarterback that
what about
technically
Cam?
was a bust in at USC?
I mean,
You're talking about
Cam was
USC.
on the-
Oh, Matt Leinart?
Matt Leinart. To me, Matt Leinart was up there.
Matt Leinart was
Maybe because
disappointing.
I'm watching Matt Leinart more than
Here's
USC
my
was-
point. Think of the names you just said, right?
Yeah.
Matt Leinart, good name, right? NFL.
Nothing.
I mean, Tim Tebow did
Tim
have
Tebow.
a nice little run.
No, he did.
But
He had a
that
nice
was
little 8-game
specialized.
run. You
No,
know,
no,
He
no,
was
here's
an
the problem.
athlete.
Hey, look,
He had
hey,
a
look.
Jeremy Lin type.
no.
Hey, look,
stretch.
hey,
You
look.
see what I'm saying?
No, here's the problem, though. He didn't. The team had a nice run, and they made the playoffs, and he won games.
But that's the scheme.
But John Fox looked at him and was like there's a clip going around where he's like, yo, this dude can't throw 15 yards.
Oh, Vince Young.
I mean, like
Manziel. All of those in common
Johnny
are
Manziel.
running quarterbacks that
I don't think Johnny
quirky.
Manziel was ever up there as one of the greatest quarterbacks.
Dude,
I've
he
ever
was
seen,
doing.
though.
He was
Man,
nice in
Johnny
his time.
football
I mean,
wasn't
he was
playing.
nice in
Johnny
his
was
time.
fun.
I mean, Baker Mayfield to me was better than him in college.
But I'm just saying. But a lot of them,
Baker Mayfield was
they're
better in
not
college
skilled.
than me.
A lot of those weren't necessarily. The only one that seemed to be poised to actually play of the people we listed is Leinart, who. But he went to Arizona and was like, "What happened with that?" I feel like we ruined his confidence when he played the Bears that year. That was
completely obliterated. Yeah,
that was the we let him off the hook. You know that was
the Denny Green.
yeah, because they had us. And
You know, I wanted to kind of in this
Was
this
Leinart on
mentioned-
that team? That was Leinart that wasn't Leinart behind center, was it?
yeah, that was Leinart.
might
Leinart,
have been
because
on- yeah.
they thought they had the game won, you know, and we kept Mike. Shout out to Mike Brown. You know, shout out to Hall of
I don't think
Fame
there was anybody else. Yeah, well,
Devin Hester. You know what I'm saying?
Hall of Famer Devin Hester.
Hall
yeah.
of Famer.
Bringing
Yeah.
that football back.
Matt
my
Leinart,
point that I
yeah.
wanted to make real quick, going back to
Yeah,
what
talk
PK
to
said
you
about, maybe
Sorry.
Caleb Williams not having, the offensive line and the help that he needs. So he needs to, produce at a high level. Here's one of the main points that I got away from this article, which gave me some pause on, saying that this guy is going to be just the best thing since sliced bread coming out of college. You go back to the Holiday Bowl that the USC Trojans were in against number 15 Louisville.
Yeah.
He didn't play, maybe because he wanted to preserve himself for the upcoming draft, right?
Right.
Understandable. To me, that shows bad leadership. You play for your team in a bowl game.
You don't
I'm-
risk yourself.
I'm
You're
sorry.
about to go make millions of
I'm
dollars.
sorry.
No,
That-
you don't
that-
risk. You don't risk your $4 million.
But you can say the same thing through the whole season. Every game is a risk, if that's the case.
Yeah, but at that point, you're not playing for nothing.
Well, in my opinion, that's your bad leadership. I'm sorry. That was just bad leadership. But the main point is the quarterback that replaced him had his first career start, Miller Moss,
Mhm.
threw for as many touchdowns as he has ever had, meaning Caleb Williams, in the game against an actual good team.
Joe Burrow has a backup that went nuts.
Yeah.
He actually had really good games. You think that
Vince
he's
Young
better
was a
than Joe
problem.
Burrow?
Who was his backup?
Vince Young. I just
Forgot
remember
his name,
Texas.
but he went nuts. He actually had.
My-
He had
he-
Cincinnati
here's
cooking.
here's my ultimate point, because you're making my point actually is it the quarterback? Is it the talent completely on the quarterback, or is it Lincoln Riley's system that's quarterback friendly?
I
Well,
mean,
you're able to get the quarterback. The system. That's like Shanahan. If Shanahan gets Mahomes, the system with the quarterback,
Right.
And then these coaches, and now with the transfer
Shanahan
portal,
is
you
big.
can
Kirk
just get a
Cousins,
guy
baby.
that just leaves
Hollywood.
whenever they want to. So it's the system does work. These coaches do have a winning system. Can they recruit and get the players over here?
Can it translate to the NFL though? Because what I've heard and what I've
Some of these
read is that
systems, no.
every quarterback that Lincoln Riley has developed is technically mid in the NFL. The best one that I can think of is Jalen Hurts.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's a good quarterback. He just got attitude.
He was
problems.
MVP
Kyler Murray's not a
candidate,
leader,
wasn't
and
he?
people don't like that.
Wasn't he an
But
MVP candidate?
talent-wise, he's a great
Was
talent.
Kyler Murray candidate
the-
for MVP at the year that he was? Was he?
Was he? I don't know if he was an MVP
And
candidate.
And no, in the NFL, the year that before he got hurt, wasn't
Oh,
he?
the
he
year
was
when
in the
they,
running.
the year when they,
Wasn't he in the
He
running?
was in the running.
That's what I
yeah.
thought.
He had a
Yeah.
really good year. No, yeah, you're absolutely right.
but then he tore his ACL the year after that. That made a difference.
I
Like
thought
I think here's the thing. Yes, the system does impact the players that they're in. That just means you need to have the right system.
There we go.
yeah, but most of them are they're all option
Like
based.
I'm not gonna.
No, you know who was the
But talent
coldest?
does.
The
I'm
I'm not
no,
gonna,
no.
I'm not gonna
The
kill a
coldest quarterback in college was Eric Crouch.
From Texas.
Wasn't he?
No,
Wasn't it Oklahoma? He was amazing and was
old
old in Nebraska. He was trash
I remember him
'cause it made me think
came
of-
out of nowhere
because all those options. That's all they were doing
Yeah,
for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Crouch
think
was
Eric
cold.
Crouch was
I
like
don't know.
amazing in college.
But I think that's the thing. Like
Nebraska, yeah.
when you look at it, right? Like yes, Miller Moss came in, they were elite. You also are going out and getting the best.
Y'all
Talent.
stop that man from preaching.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's not like Lincoln Riley brought in Miller Moss to USC and was like, nah, I got this trash quarterback behind him. Yeah, I expect in a couple years Miller Moss is going to be somebody that we're talking about at the quarterback position as well. You go get the best quarterbacks. But I think my thing at the end of the day with all of it is
That's how obvious that I've never heard that name in my life.
yeah.
Look it up.
Hey,
Look
you
it up.
going back
Eric
on that one,
Crouch
Joe.
was
Nah,
one of
he
the
was
first
like
men-
early.
first
He was
ones I've seen.
2000s ish.
Yeah.
No, he was a problem.
We got
He's up there.
this is
No, but
YouTube,
George's
Joe.
point-
There's young people here.
I'm sorry. No, we
No, I
have
ain't gonna
no
lie.
shout out. No,
I
we have a
do remember
wide
Eric
demographic here. No, we span No, but to your point, I think to your point is that you're saying that you think that Lincoln Riley doesn't necessarily develop
creates
real
a system.
quarterbacks.
He creates a
It's a
system,
system
that
that
makes the
wins.
quarterbacks. It doesn't matter what level of quarterback, because again, I don't know who Miller Moss is, but he came in right away and developed and or rather produced the same amount of
They
stats.
said that the same.
Yeah,
numbers.
but
with
you
Justin.
also went in there and you're playing against the backups that are at whatever, because half of their team wasn't playing either, right? You're also going out and getting the next guy that's probably going to be the starter next year that we're going to be talking about as a good quarterback. Right? Like there's a lot of factors that go into that. It was like, yeah, sure, he played well. I expect him to play well because he's been in this system all year, right? The same thing that we talked about with sitting quarterbacks behind another quarterback in the NFL also applies in college. He's gotten to watch the system all year and see how it works, right? So he was able to go out there and get the job done. My point at the end of the day is I want to see this situation be different than what we've built.
Yeah.
And it feels like offensively we're heading towards something similar because guess what? Maybe Caleb does come in and he hits the ground running. But if he doesn't, Matt Eberflus ain't got no job.
Nope.
We got a whole new staff here next year. We've got a whole new, right? Like we're starting all over from square one.
I don't think that's the case.
I just
I
hate
think
these
he's very
narratives.
calculated, and there's a reason why they kept him because they believe in that defense, and they think that they're a few players away from really competing if they tweak the offense. I think the moves they made is what makes sense. I just can't wait to get past this month.
2 months, baby.
Yeah, we got 2 more months.
I know, a month and a half, 2 months.
I can't wait I just hate the narratives. Like they said the same thing about OSU quarterbacks. Justin's OSU quarterback.
That's true.
Like,
but they weren't lying though.
They weren't wrong though.
They was a lot.
Like
lot
CJ
of,
Stroud was the first QB to break the
But that's
curse,
yeah,
so to
kind of.
speak.
But
You know
that was
what I'm saying? Like,
no because well Fields is
Fields
Ohio
ain't
State.
prepared.
No, who else? Someone else was Ohio State.
No, just
I guess he
CJ.
was.
Stroud.
Well,
CJ's the first one to break. And listen, he got to play year 2.
right. It could be a sophomore slump.
He gotta play year 2.
So
Absolutely
on the
right.
same note, like you got to think about it. Is it Lincoln Riley's system? Like you can say the same thing about the QB we have and look at the issues we're having with it. Like it's like
Yeah, but you
you go down them rabbit holes. It's like, man, we get a lot of parallels. It's like them things don't work out the same way. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. You can't say the same thing about where Caleb Williams is coming from and not look at where Justin Fields came from. And say
Yeah,
the same
but I mean, it's been kind of stated that Matt Nagy, even though he says BU, he didn't allow Justin Fields to be himself.
But
he didn't play to his strengths. Then we know that it was found out that Getsy didn't do that either. And so when you constantly putting a quarterback under different regimes year after year after year, that's not helping out his development and growth.
That's
You need to have
content.
consistency.
That's context after the fact, but coming into it, what was the narrative on OSU quarterbacks?
Oh, that they can't translate to the league. Yeah,
And what ended up
that's a
happening?
fact.
But a lot of times
And
these
is it
You got to
fair?
think about that kid. That's one in
Who was the one before Justin?
Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor. Then
Oh,
you
he
had
was
the
a
guy who passed
monster.
away, unfortunately.
Haskins.
Haskins wasn't good.
Troy Smith.
Dwayne Haskins wasn't good.
Yeah,
I know. I didn't say they
Damn,
were.
you
I'm
didn't
just-
say it like that.
Yeah, you
bro.
had.
He wasn't. He got
But
better.
it's the
he
systems
wasn't
that
good
these
coming
guys
in.
are running that doesn't translate. So it's trying to find, it's the David Cutcliffe with the Danny Dimes from Duke, and he's going to be the next guy. And pro style. You're looking for a pro style. I mean, Andrew Luck was,
Andrew Luck was nice in Stanford.
Some of these guys are able to transfer, but
I will say this. The only thing I will say, it's been said multiple times. Someone said it in the chat.
Cardale
Said it on
Jones.
Chicago Bears podcast.
Forgot
Again,
about
go
him.
tune into that one. Great content out there. My man over there killing it again. Caleb is supposed to be, and he does look like a more polished passer. It just is
Than
what it is.
Justin at the college level.
Even now.
I mean,
Yeah, but I got to see you do it in the pros.
Yeah,
I got
you
to see
get-
you doing the pros.
again,
That's
again,
the
I gotta
difference.
see
I'm
you
not
do
even
it.
I'm not even comparing him. I'm not
Or
comparing
we
being a
trade
college.
the pick
We
and
not
still
trading
get
no pick,
Jaden
dog.
Daniels,
I'm not
the other
comparing
Heisman winning
being a-
quarterback.
I think it's a
And
bad
get her haul.
comparison too, but that's what that's.
But
what
I'm not comparing being a good college passer to being a good pro passer. I've seen a lot of great college passers not be able to be great pro passers
Jamarcus
because
Russell.
it takes too long. Jamarcus Russell didn't work hard. Listen, that's a whole different one.
That's
Along
Hey,
with that,
Jamarcus
yeah, you're right,
Russell,
along with that.
Jamarcus Russell got 2 chain stories. Yeah, you know what I mean, like that's all you need to know about that. Like he got that much. They said chains. I think it was this a while ago. I heard this story. It might have been on what was the show with Poppy, the Dan Le Batard show. It was on that. He basically said I think Bomani asked him, like, what's the craziest night you've ever had with an athlete? And 2 Chainz was like, or no, Lil Wayne was like, oh, that's your boy. He was like, who? Oh, no, Chainz was like, oh, that's your boy. To Wayne. He said, who? He said, Dwayne used to come through with all the Trinite in the bag. He said, oh, he talking about Jamarcus Russell. And it was like, wait, what? He said, I said a night, not a career. Like, wait a minute. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, Jamarcus Russell was a wild boy. He wanted to be a partier more than he wanted to be a quarterback.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? Once you get that money,
Off that Trinite.
See, again, that all goes into what makes you either elite or just average. Like the coaching, the system, your also willingness to be better than what you are. Like your off-season workouts, what you put into all that personally, like in your off time, like all that goes into it.
Yeah.
shout out to Super Chat Dan Tanner says, I have to see Caleb do that behind the Bears' inconsistent O-line. The line matters. I'm just saying.
Line definitely
Yeah,
matters. And there's a lot of factors that have to play out here. It's not just it's not
Caleb
just
better?
answering the quarterback position. You have to answer a ton of questions. And that's why, to me, right, like I do have questions on Caleb Williams. Do I think Caleb can be a good quarterback at the NFL level? Yes. Can he be a good quarterback on the Bears? Yes. Will he? I don't know.
Or we could trade.
All right. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love.
The other Heisman winning
Hold on.
quarterback.
I got this
Because
question,
you know what
Joe.
I said? Because my point was this: if Caleb is this generational dude, then he should have won the Heisman 2 years in a row. He
That's
should have
not
been
true.
hands down. It's been him the whole time.
Like Lamar Jackson.
But
I mean,
this
he-
year
he had
is
a worse
Jaden is
team
in the
than
SEC.
Jaden had.
Pat dispels that. You know,
Nah,
he
didn't have
played
a worse
against
team
lesser.
than Jaden had.
Yeah, I'm just
He didn't
saying.
have a worse
But
team than Jaden had.
we can get that, still trade that pick, get the haul. And if you want to move on from a quarterback, and we still get this other Heisman winning quarterback,
What do you like about Jaden?
I don't know. I'm just saying, he's
Tall
a
as
Heisman
well.
winning
Yeah.
quarterback.
There we go.
He's he's athletic. He can throw the ball. No,
Accurate throwing,
he
yeah.
can. The only thing what I don't like, he seems a little smallish. Like he does.
He's 6'4".
Yeah, but he's got that
He's
skinny
210.
wide.
He is 210.
Yeah,
but
he
he's 6'3".
kind of looks a little like stringy. Like
He is.
versus
20
like
pounds lighter
Justin's a
Grown man Justin.
Justin's
No,
Justin-
20
Justin's
pounds a
like
lot in the
230.
NFL.
he's
35.
230. He's a
That's
serious
muscle.
dude.
20 pounds a
Justin is
lot.
235.
He's a big dude.
210, 250. They got him listed at 215.
210. Okay. That's
I
still-
mean, hey,
that's-
listen,
that's- that is
Technically,
different.
he's the same height. Was 6'4".
Shout out to Mike Nice.
Yeah, but it depends on
And he's
like
just as fast.
he's
And
built
Justin
like
is 6'4"
he's built
too.
like Deshaun Watson to me.
Yeah.
Jaden. He's
Jaden
built like
Daniels.
Deshaun Watson. to
Deshaun
me.
looks bigger than him.
No,
Nah,
Deshaun
Deshaun-
was skinny. That was his knock coming out of college. He had skinny wrists, skinny ankles. He was a thin kid. Like he had weight on him, but he was a thin kid.
But you know, he'll gain weight. He'll gain and probably gain.
Yeah, he'll
15
get to about
pounds.
220 probably by the combine.
Yeah. So I mean, but the point is that you have a pedigree. It's not easy to win a Heisman, especially throwing the ball. He still threw for 4,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the whole point, is that whatever we get, if we can put a quarterback in the right situation to thrive, either we fix the situation for Fields to thrive, or if it's Caleb. But I would say trade everything, go down. If you can go to 2 and still take the quarterback, if you want to move on, it makes more sense to me. More sense.
There you go.
We'll see what it ends up being, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing
40
love
days.
to another episode. I just wanted to stop being like those CDL videos. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yes.
Who?
You know, y'all. Well, this may be something I'm stuck in on my algorithm. I have gotten it to a point where it sounds bad. It's almost like I like to see people fail. But when like them dudes in the CD, they got all the CDLs during COVID and didn't really train on none of that stuff, like crash their cars
Crashing
into
the truck
stuff,
and stuff,
or they
yeah.
take like the top of the truck off because the bridge is too low.
Oh, that's called a tuna can.
Bro, like it cracks me
I'm
up
sorry,
every
that's
time,
called a
bro.
can. That's called a can opener.
Bro, it cracks me up every single time because here's the thing that they never do. Oh man, that sounded like some noise. What's going on?
They
out
just
here?
keep it pushing.
Hey, bro, they just keep hitting the gas.
Like,
bro.
I know
They
you
just be
feel
like,
this way, dog. What
"Ah!" Oh man, but no, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Of course, the super producer Joel Holt and Jordan JC over at the Chicago Bears Breeze. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love, bear down. Peace.
One love.